Alright, let's talk about a movie that pretty much everyone wrote off. Zack Snyder's Sucker Punch. Now at first glance, yeah, it's a wild, chaotic action flick. But what if I told you that underneath all that, it's actually a really deep story about the battle we're all fighting inside our own heads? And really, this classic quote from Shakespeare, it's the whole key to unlocking this thing. You have to stop thinking of this as a normal, literal story. It's not. Think of it more like a play. Every single character, every crazy battle scene, it's all happening on the stage inside one single person's soul. So here's how we're gonna break this down. First, we'll get into why this movie was so misunderstood. Then, we'll unpack the 3 different layers of reality it's built on. We'll meet the cast who aren't really people at all. Figure out the 5 steps to freedom, and then wrap it all up with the big idea, the battle within. Okay, let's just get it out there. Critics and audiences pretty much hated this movie. It was a flop. And you know why? Because most people tried to analyze it with their brains, trying to follow a logical plot. But here's the thing. That's the absolute wrong way to watch it. You do that, and you miss the entire point. You basically got 2 options here. You can watch it intellectually, like a standard action movie, and yeah, you're gonna end up totally confused. Or you can watch it with your heart. You have to engage with it emotionally. The second you switch over and start to feel the story, instead of just thinking about it, everything just clicks. So, how in the world does the movie pull this off? Well, it's all about these layers of reality. What feels like a jumbled, confusing plot is actually just us, the audience, diving deeper and deeper through 3 different levels of one person's mind, right into the middle of a psychological war. Okay, so layer 1. This is the grim, gritty, real world of the story. Baby Doll is trapped in this horrible mental asylum. But it's not just a place, right? It's a symbol. It's the prison of trauma, that place we lock ourselves away in with guilt and pain when something terrible happens. Now, because that reality is just too awful to deal with, the mind does what it does best. It creates a coping mechanism. And that's layer 2, the brothel. Now this is still a kind of prison for sure, but it's a mental shield. It's the mind reframing the horror into something survivable. A world where the girls just have to perform to get by. And this brings us to the deepest layer, where all the crazy action happens. When Baby Doll dances, her mind isn't really there. It escapes into a 3rd reality, these epic battlefields. So that dance isn't for an audience, it's a metaphor for her inner war. It's her literally fighting her inner demons to reclaim her own soul. And once you get that, the whole film just cracks wide open. The asylum, the brothel, the battlefields with giant samurai and dragons, it's all happening inside one person. We're just watching a war for a single soul play out. Okay, so we've set the stage. Now let's meet the actors. But here's the catch. They're not really characters in the traditional sense. They're archetypes. They actually represent universal parts of our own minds. So what the heck is an archetype? Well, it's basically a fancy word for a universal symbol or role that we all instinctively understand. Think of the hero, the wise old mentor, or the trickster. They're like the fundamental building blocks of our personalities. Here's how the cast breaks down. Sweet Pea, she's the protagonist, the true self that's trying to escape. To get her free, the other parts of the mind have to win this inner battle. Baby Doll, she's hope, but she's fueled by pain. Rocket is faith, but she's weighed down by guilt. Amber is courage, but she's held back by timidity. And Blondie represents knowledge, but she's undermined by gullibility. For the true self to finally be free, each one of these negative sides has to be faced and then sacrificed. And this whole idea of sacrifice, it's structured like a quest. The mission to collect 5 items isn't a literal heist. It's a symbolic roadmap for how any one of us can heal and break out of our own mental prisons. So, each item is a step towards healing. First, you need the map. That's your guide, maybe therapy or a good friend. Then you need fire. That's the passion, the drive to actually fight for change. Next, the knife, to cut ties with all the pain that holds you back. Then, the key, to unlock the prison you've built around yourself. And that mysterious 5th item? Well, that stands for the ultimate, final sacrifice you have to make to be truly free. This whole internal journey, it all builds to one central idea. The battle that's happening inside isn't just a fantasy. It's a really powerful statement about how our inner world literally creates our outer reality.
And this is it. This is the core message of the entire film. It argues that we can't fix the messed up world out there until we fix the conflicts inside ourselves. All the chaos we see in society, it's just a mirror reflecting the chaos inside the human soul. You want to change your world? You have to change yourself first.
So what does this path to freedom actually look like? Well, it starts when you realize your emotions aren't weaknesses, they're your weapons. The enemy isn't some villain out there, it's your own programmed ego, that little voice of fear and doubt that tells you you're not good enough. The real hero of the story is your true self, and the key to unlocking the door is being willing to sacrifice your own pain. Which brings us to the final haunting question the movie leaves us with. After all this struggle, after all the sacrifice, who is actually in control? Who holds the key that can set us free? The answer is so simple and so powerful. It's not a guardian angel. It's not some savior coming to rescue you. It's you. And the film doesn't just put all that responsibility on your shoulders. It empowers you. It says you already have the hope, the faith, the courage, and the knowledge you need. Everything you need for the fight, it's already inside you. And that is the final, unforgettable command. It's not a suggestion. It's a call to action. A challenge to stop being a passive victim and to start waging the war for your own soul. The battle is yours. The weapons are yours. And that freedom, it's yours for the taking. Now fight.